and welcome you all for the fourth day session. Our today's guest, Dr. V. Karthikeyan sir, NIT Calicut. Welcome you, sir. Now I would like to introduce our guest. Dr. V. Karthikeyan sir is working as an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering, National Institute of Technology, Calicut. He has completed BE and ME degree from Anna University, Chennai and Coimbatore. He has completed PhD with MHRD stipend from NIT Allahabad, Uttar Pradesh in the year of 2016. He has published 3 book chapters in Springer Journal. He has published 5 research papers from IEEE Transaction on Industrial Electronics and IEEE Transaction on Industrial Informatics and IEEE Transaction on Circuit and Systems. 6 research papers from IET Power Electronics and 9 research papers from Elsevier and other SEI journals. He is serving as a regular reviewer in IEEE Transaction on Circuit and Systems, Industrial Electronics, Industrial Informatics and selected topics in Power Electronics and IET Power Electronics. He presented the papers in 17 reputed IEEE international conferences, and also he got 4 times Best Paper Award from NIT Trichy and IIT Madras and other conferences. He also filed 1 patent in the year of 2016. Recently, he has received the Best Faculty Award in Tamil Nadu region from Nehru Group of Institutions and also received Best Young Researcher Award from AINAE India. He written 2 project proposals and got sanctioned at worth of 50.34 lakhs from CSIR in the year 2014 and 15 respectively, and 34.25 lakhs from MNRE in 2015. Apart from this, in 2019, he received 5 lakhs from NIT Calicut to build electric tricycle at NIT Calicut campus. 24 lakhs from TechCube 3 collaborative project scheme under NPIU, and also 36 lakhs from CSIR to build solar PV based smart irrigation system. Once again, I welcome you, sir. Now I hand over the session to Dr. V. Karthikeyan, sir. Please, sir.
So, thanks a lot for your introduction. So, first of all, I like to thank the convener of this FTP program and the coordinator of this FTP program for organizing such a wonderful event during this pandemic situation. And so, I'm happy to share the information, related to the advancement in EV charging infrastructure. So I welcome you all the participants for attending my session. So myself, Dr. Karthikeyan, working as assistant professor at NIT Calicut. So I hope it's a time we shall begin the session. So the topic, we are going to cover about the advancement in EV charging infrastructure. So which means electric vehicle, couple of sessions also you might have attended in the last 2 to 3 days. So you might have very good knowledge about the electric vehicle and how the charging and fundamentals, right? So here we can go in detail. What are the advancement? How we can take it over to our country? So what is the actual problem, that current situation that we are facing, and how to rectify it? And as a research point of view, as a faculty member, so how we have to contribute towards that. So that we can see in this particular session. And this is the growth of EV, electric vehicle. I don't want to go much about the introduction. You know very well, all our faculty members, nobody is a student here. So everybody knows everything. So just other than that, where you given the gap, so there I'm trying to fill up those gaps. And with whatever our experience that we are doing research in this dimension past a few years, so that I would like to share over here. So for that, I just give a light introduction. So you could see here in the growth of the electric vehicle, especially in 2017 onwards, picking a market like anything, right? So though the pickup markets are very high, I agree, there is no doubt in that. But the problem is actually, even the electric vehicle, there are 3 categories of vehicle, very well. One is a hybrid electric vehicle, and thereafter, hybrid electrical vehicle with other categories also there, other than the battery, with some other sources also. So now everything replaced with only the battery operated vehicle. So that is what coming, especially lithium ion battery. So fine. So now we have everything, but technology also, of course, it is there. But the problem is actually where we are lack actually in our country. Total demand actually, especially what the expectation is by 2022. No, So by 2022, almost 10 gigawatt hour, the capacity, that much amount it is required. Especially 50 gigawatt hour, it has to be expanded by 2025. So that is what the expectation. But in our country demand, if you are looking, the total power generation, you can go and look on the MNRE website also. So almost 325 gigawatt only the total power generation. But our demand is like a 450 gigawatt. You see how much extra amount is there. But average generation, if you are looking, almost 250 gigawatt only. So this is the installed capacity. Installed capacity is different. Per annum capita generation is different. So with the 250 gigawatt, our requirement is 450. So very difficult so far already. Now, when additionally electrical vehicle, when it is coming in the market in our country, you just imagine what will happen. I agree. There is no doubt in that. There is no replacement of anything other than the electric vehicle. I agree. But when electric vehicles are coming in the market, you just imagine what will happen. Additional quantity of the power. Already we are in a surplus power. So when electric vehicles are coming, everybody start putting a charging infrastructure, and especially residential charger, class A, class B, class C charger. Every category when they keeps on charging, additionally this much quantity of the energy is required. So where we can? So that's a primary question, especially like a growing country like our country, India, right? So such a diversion has to take place in some other dimension. So that we can see in detail. So meanwhile, I'll give you, what are the challenges we are facing in advancement challenges we are facing in EV. Then I'll move upon the charging infrastructure, right? So these are the first challenge. I'll tell you how, not a problem I'm telling, solution also I can tell you how we have to go with that, with the upcoming infrastructure. But before that, what is the challenges in the EV that we can say? So first of all, in the challenges in EV, you have to know what is the requirement. Then only we can understand what is the challenges in EV. The first thing I agree, there is no doubt in that. Like safe and never causing any environmental hazards. I agree. And autonomous may require, may not require. At present scenario for India country, like it is not required actually. But this is very, very important. So good mileage. Of course, it is giving actually. At present scenario, it's coming almost less than 50 paisa per kilometer. You take any car, it will come around, 3 rupees to 5 rupees, right? You cannot get including maintenance cost, all those things, but it's coming only 50 paisa. It's a best one, right? So very good mileage. There is no doubt in that, right? And any load capacity, it can go, constantly 45 kilometer per hour and all the vehicle came actually, right? So that is there. Other very important requirement what we need, like from the customer perspective, I'm talking, right? So what having a good charging time. Actually, moment I charge it, actually, it has to be at least, less than 12 hour. It has to hold longer duration, quick charging time, and as a longer duration, it has to capable with one sort of charging. For example, I'm just charging a vehicle. At least it has to run certain kilometer, because 70% of the customer in India, people are running in a routine life. So in a routine life means they are going to office or work or anything, just to 8 hours they are working. After 8 hours they are returning back. So during 8 hours you are not utilizing. So per day total maximum kilometer that you want to travel, not more than 100 kilometer. So which means per day 100 kilometer, if it is serving, is very good. If it is a less than that, it's not effective actually. And it's 100 means exactly should not be fixed with 100. It should be higher than that value. So that is what a commercial market they are expecting. At least 200 to 400 kilometer it has to travel per salt. Per salt means single sort of charge. It has to travel at least 200 to 400 kilometer. Then only people will come in. It will be attractive feature. So that facility we have to make. These are the requirement I'm talking. When an electric vehicle, what are the challenges that we are facing? I'm talking actually, right? Basic requirements. Now, the quick charging time. Charging time also, no, right? At present scenario, people are waiting a longer duration to get it charged. But when I'm going, especially in highways and all, when I like to travel, I cannot wait for, like 2 hours or 3 hours and all. Petrol or diesel, if you want to fill, maximum hardly take only, less than 2 minutes, not more than that, right? So bill settlement, everything not more than 3 minutes. So within 3 minutes, my job done. But here 3 hours I have to wait. So who will wait? How many vehicle you can charge in a per day, per charging infrastructure? So any charging station. So these are the complexity actually, right? So you have to understand, first of all, I will tell you the problem, how we have to overcome, what are the policy we have to make in this electric vehicle. I can give the hint, and accordingly what as a research perspective, what you people can contribute towards the development of EV. Those are things that I will tell you. But first of all, you have to understand, right? So the next one is having acceleration. This is very, very important. Whatever the point other than this one, this is a very, very important point, I must say. Because of this only, do you think EV vehicle are launched by 2020 or 2018 itself? It's not. 2010 onwards, last one decade, people are, shouting like anything with the public way that, just switch out to electric. None of the people are coming, there are e-scooter and all, you might have seen 40 kilometer and all, per 40 kilometer per hour. There are 10 years before itself, people have launched it. But none of the people are started purchasing that. Oh yeah, I agree. Of course, battery backup is there and the cost wise, I agree. But still, why none of the people are going towards that, because of this particular reason. The acceleration, very, very important parameter. The acceleration means, for example, any vehicle you just take, right? Moment, what the youngster need. Like why they are running with the 200 cc, 250 cc, and sometimes now this Royal Enfield came till 500 cc. Why people are running behind that? It's a very simple phenomena. The moment I'm raising the acceleration, it has to pick up like anything. I'm youngster, that only they like actually. When they're standing in a signal, for example, the moment red crosses to green, within 10 seconds or 15 seconds, they have to reach to at least 1 kilometer. That is what they are interested. They have to raise that much ramp up power it has to give. But electric vehicle, it's not like this. Like olden age people. Moment you are rising, it will take after some time only it will start pick up. So immediately you cannot pick up. The speed graph is there. No, it will be like this only smoothly. But I don't want, youngster want like this. Within a short interval, the speed has to pick up at the maximum. That only youngster need. Right? Not only youngster, of course, the age of less than 40 years, people want that only. Actually, this very good acceleration. So that is not possible at current scenario of the electric vehicle. This is a bigger challenge. That is what I must say. This is a bigger drawback, right? I will tell you how to overcome, what you can, how you can think of it, and how the people are came with some innovative ideas also. This is what I told you, driven up to, even the heavy weight also. For example, one person sitting, okay. When it is a car, right? For example, the other way I can say, during a full load condition, maximum load condition, now, it is not at all possible to take overtake with any vehicle. If any engine vehicle is there, definitely easily you can take overtake, right? But it's very difficult because, too much quantity of the weight, sudden acceleration, it is not possible. You cannot overtake. If you're trying to overtake like a big truck and lorry and all, in between you will stuck somewhere because it's never able to give more acceleration, right? So the acceleration mean can give, but it will take some more time to reach that particular speed. But within a fraction, you want to mean, so that is not possible, right? So these are the problems. Your mind, what will come, okay, let it go with the gear mechanism, all those things. But it's never work. I'll tell you all those things. Okay, so these are the problems actually. I hope you understood. So what are the problem that we are facing? Now, the other thing is technical perspective I am talking. The first one is high torque and low speed. So this is very important. This is what I told you. At a lower speed, for example, in a traffic and all, when you are standing, high torque has to come. Then only we can cross anybody. So that's what youngster attracting. Then only people will come forward, right? So high torque, very, very important at lower speed. So torque compared to speed, so that has to be very high. Okay. Next, high torque to power ratio. This is very, very important. So with the given power, for example, if people want other mind it will come, okay, let it go instead of 2 kW. People may ask a brilliant question. They may think that they may ask, okay, instead of 2 kilowatt, let it go 4 kilowatt. To raise the power, what is the problem? You will achieve everything. No, but that is not possible. This is very important. Torque with the power ratio. For a given power, I need a torque. Moment I raise the power level, battery pack also. Battery pack means costly because any system, 60 to 70% of the cost will be owned only by the battery. I cannot simply raise the battery at present scenario by considering the lithium ion pack. If a 10 lakh rupees mean almost 6 lakh rupees, I have to pay only for the battery, So that much investment I don't want. Heavy power. With lower power, you give more torque you give. That is actually, real challenge actually. Okay, so that is the thing. Constant power in a speed, wide speed. Any speed, if I'm going, the power consumption has to be uniform. Otherwise, I will drop my mileage. So that also I have to consider. These are I'm talking about the technical point of view. So what are the basic, what are the fundamental expectations from the customers, right? Of course, high efficiency should not be more like complexity in the electronic, like a fuzzy and automatic. That I don't want actually. I want cheapest one. That is what the company is looking. That is what the customer point of view. I want less 50,000 rupees only. I have to invest for any electric vehicle. It has to give a very good mileage equivalent to my bike. Then people will come forward. It has to give very good efficiency with lesser electronic component. More electronic component if you are keeping for improving like some kind of mechanism, some kind of topology and all. So it fails. right? And dynamic response, this is what I told you. Moment, fast, and speed. With shorter speed, dynamic response. I told you, no, the acceleration. Not only acceleration at time of starting. I'm talking while running condition also. For example, vehicle is running 60 kilometer per hour. Suddenly, I have to rise to 80 kilometer, 90 kilometer. Immediately, I have to come 60. So that rapid acceleration is, in between while running. That is a dynamic response. That also has to be very high. Accurate electronic controllability. This is very, very important. Moment I'm rising, because based on the experience only people will rise. So when I'm rising, giving acceleration 20%, vehicle is running for certain speed. So moment I'm riding a 30%, I know very well what is the speed going to achieve. Sometimes the speed is irregular. It is coming when I'm rising the 30% of giving acceleration, some other speed. So there is no accuracy in your electronic controller by adjusting the duty cycle, maybe due to the temperature value, the whole internal resistance gets affected. So finally, you will get a more PWM to rise the same voltage. So this and all, I don't want. It should have a accurate in electronic controllability, right? And very, very important things, robustness and reliability. It has to, for example, some two-wheeler is there. You just take in a two-wheeler, when vehicle is running in a normal condition, due to slip or due to some accident, they just fell down, right? So vehicle also flip down. So moment I'm taking up, immediately it has to. It should not be like a connection has to be disconnected due to the mechanical vibration, or I just fell down, so that vehicle is not running me. I'm not an electrical engineer. Everybody is not an electrical engineer. So they doesn't understand what is their inside also. Simply some wire, small wire, if it disconnected, the vehicle never started. So everything is a failure. They have to stuck somewhere. So that robustness has to be there. Even you drive rash drive, whatever it is. For example, if it is a bigger, like you take like a hilly area,
Hello, sir. Audio disconnected, sir. Participants, kindly wait.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, please share this.
I'm extremely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sorry, sir. Sorry. Extremely sorry, sir. Power gone in between. That's why Wi-Fi disconnected
No
from
problem, sir. No
institute.
problem, sir. Oh, no problem, sir.
Everywhere it should take a 2 minutes time now to switch on the generator. That's why. I'm extremely sorry. Yeah.
It's okay, sir. No problem, sir.
Sure, sir. So these are the things actually. The reliability is a very, very important parameter that we have to look actually. And of course, low EMI, this is okay, and reasonable cost of production. Of course, this we are getting, so no doubt in that. So very important thing is this is a very, very important point actually. High target, low speed. This is very important for the customer perspective, and a dynamic response also during a running conditions. Of course, it is required. Even a low speed also. This is for during a high speed and as a low speed also. So this is a very, very important perspective from the customer point of view, and very, very important this one only, reliability. So these are the 4 points actually, right? So by considering all those things, we have done certain very good work, but I'll show you, right? What are the challenges? Yeah. So now, so these are the advancement in the EV. If you are looking, these are the 4 different motors that what we are using at nowadays. Actually, first one is the PMDC, BLDC, and the PMSM, induction motor, and the SRM, right? So in a DC motor, if you are looking, this is a converter. Don't think so like a shunt and series and compound, all those blah blah. That is only for theory. It's available on the books. Nowhere we are using. We are going with only the PMDC. So PMDC, this is a popular one. This is what we are using for the LDV, light duty vehicle we used to call. We'll classify into 3, LDV and MDV and HDV, right? Light duty vehicle, medium duty vehicle and heavy duty vehicle. So based on the classification only we are using. So PMDC motor at all is a dead cheap, and moreover it don't have much torque protection, but it's a very good, cheapest one, and easily we can control the speed, and construction wise smaller, and cost is very, very simple. So that is what is giving good efficiency also, because permanent magnet there is no extra additional field winding and weight is less. So there are several factors. So that is what permanent magnet DC motor people are popularly using in a LDV, especially like a electric tricycle and in a two-wheeler. So everywhere people are going with these kind of things only, right? And BLDC motor. So this is what, more than 750 watts and all nowadays people are recommending for the BLDC. Of course, we can go 250 BLDC motors and available. People are using, but the recommendation is like a 0.75 kilowatt and above. If you are going, we can go. We need a performance wise there. For example, electric bicycle is there, electric bicycle. No need of improved performance. The vehicle has to run, but more than 0.7 kilowatt when it is going, you need to look about the performance. So by the time, the BLDC motor is the most suitable one, right? And the PMSM. So having a fewer drawbacks with the PMSM, they have rectified those drawbacks with the upcoming technology. So PMSM also people are popularly using. You can ask one thing for synchronous motor. Synchronous motor, how can we control the speed of the motor? In synchronous motor, what we studied like a constant speed motor, it runs only at synchronous speed. That is a synchronous motor. But how can we implement? I want to run various speed while driving the electric vehicle. That is possible with a certain technique. So in the technique also certain drawback. That one they have rectified. So that is what people are going with the PMS. The other thing is three-phase induction motor. So this is the, and SRM also there. So compare with all five motors, I must say the three-phase induction motor is the best motor with any other thing. You people can ask, how can you say that BLDC motor only in upcoming market, every people are coming with the BLDC motor only electric vehicle. How can you say with the induction motor giving a better performance than BLDC and other thing? Of course it is. That is the, how can I say, hidden research about the three-phase induction motor. So induction motor popularly, widely we are using, we know very well, 95% of industry application we are going with induction motor, no doubt in that. But certain drawback of the induction motor that they rectified, that is what, Tesla, he took in his hand actually. Right now, the Tesla model, he is one of the most competitor in the world in overall related to related to electric vehicle manufacturing. So in this Tesla, they are upcoming with only three-phase induction motor. 2025 they are going to launch. Already Tesla S model they launched. 2022 they are going to launch, and 2025 they are going to launch Tesla S series. So in that version they are going with only three-phase induction motor. By looking that one, everybody, even other new company also, they are looking at three-phase induction motor to be implemented in a car, because induction motor having a that much powerful mechanism is there inside. Of course, very good drawback is the bigger drawback that they have rectified. I'll tell you what are the drawback, all those things. That is what the advancement research. I'll tell you first of all, popular one, BLDC motor. So in a BLDC motor, actually there will be two type. One is a in runner type and out runner. Sorry, this is not in runner, this is out runner. So out runner type. Out runner type, actually you can see the gear would be there. So in a gear mechanism, external, with the gear mechanism, we are having with a chain that we are coupling with this one. Whatever the motor is running, my vehicle will run. So this out runner type. In runner type means the wheel itself, inside itself, they are having like a hub motor. They are connecting which and which they are feeding the supply and immediately motor will go. Here, due to the mechanical efficiency, the losses, you will get a 90% mechanical transmission, and moreover the torque also you won't get a much higher. But here it will be very good actually. Whatever the power we are giving directly, which is making, so losses will be eliminated. So it will be very good compared with this one. So that is what in runner people are popularly using for the two-wheeler and all, right? All two-wheeler like equal to like a 100cc vehicle is there, almost 12 or 14 HP has to come. So till that people are going with this only. Okay. And next, what is called induction motor. So induction motor, as I told you here, the induction motor problem, I'll tell you, why people are not using now, right now, why people are focusing on the induction motor, I can tell you. Actually, why the induction motor people are focusing mean, in induction motor, previous case and all, first drawback of induction motor. For example, you have to know one thing. If any electric vehicle, the cost around, for example, if it is a 14 lakhs, right? So 14 lakhs cost. With regenerative braking, without regenerative, there are two mechanisms are there. So with regenerative braking, the cost around, same only. But with regenerative braking, the cost around, if you are looking, almost 17 lakh will come. Only 3 lakhs only for the regenerative mechanism. So that is not possible in the three-phase induction motor, but that is possible in the BLDC in other category, because we have a front-end converter, easily we can do. Why three-phase induction motor regenerative braking is not possible mean, very well, any motor can run, for example, 0 to, for example, NS speed is, for example, 1500 RPM. Yes, a conventional way of thinking, people think only 1500 RPM. So for example, 1500 RPM. So when speed goes, 0 to 1500 RPM, whenever you are giving applying the brake, by the time due to the moment of inertia, it acting as a generator, power will be feeding, no problem. But for example, induction motor, your rotor speed has to be higher than the synchronous speed. So rotor speed has to be greater than the synchronous speed, which means when you are applying the brake, while you want to achieve regenerative braking, what will you do? You apply brake. What will happen? Definitely speed will go down only. So you cannot achieve higher. So for example, you can go 1200 RPM or 1100 RPM. So speed must go lower than that higher speed. So by time, how can you able to generate? Because your rotor speed is always lower than the synchronous speed only, right? Especially applying the braking, running condition. So what induction generator principle, very well. The rotor speed has to be much higher than the synchronous speed, then only you can able to generate the electricity, which means regenerative braking, it is not at all possible in induction motor. So regenerative braking is not possible. That won't have a more complexity, especially, you can save the energy. So that is not possible. There is no future scope of this three-phase induction motor to be utilized in electric vehicle. Because of this particular problem only, people are, they are not used. But right now, they addressed it clearly, especially Tesla took in their hand. They have done away some work, and they are doing, there are two kind of mechanism they are implementing. Each and one technique, each technique is a very good technique. They are achieving that regenerative braking also. First of all, on one more drawback, actually, this is the one drawback. This is I'm talking about in terms of regenerative braking point of view, right? So this is a regenerative braking point of view. But in case of motoring point of view, if you are looking, the motor, what is called induction motor graph. I hope you might have seen. Speed will be like this only. The induction motor graph will come, right? So if you are taking this particular one, this is the speed and here the torque, right? If you are putting a ulta, what will happen? The graph will be like this actually. Speed, if you are putting here, it will be like this only. So what will happen is somewhere this graph we have seen, this is like a DC shunt motor. So shunt motor graph speed slightly only can vary. So same thing, this graph is there, no? So if you're plotting in a y-axis, this is y-axis, if you're putting, you can see here slightly only. So this is actually a ideal case, but practical case, it will be like this only, which means the region will be, almost a constant speed only. For example, if it is a 1500 RPM, 1440 RPM, you cannot bring down the speed to, less than 1000 RPM. If you want to bring down the less than 1000 RPM, suddenly it falls to 200 RPM. You cannot control the speed, accurately that way, which means in electric vehicle, when I'm riding the vehicle in a, somewhere, you cannot adjust the speed that much. If you want to, leave the acceleration or you just apply the regenerative braking, whatever it is, what will happen? Speed suddenly goes to, from 80 kilometer to suddenly 20 kilometer. You cannot run 40 kilometer, 45, whatever actually your requirement, accordingly you cannot run. So that is one of the bigger problem with this one, right? So that is what the graph you can see almost the constant speed region only. Actually, practical speaking, this is the constant speed region only. So in order to, this is what is the voltage linear region, voltage proportional with the frequency. This is what the speed region, right? So these two issue, motoring operation, one problem, and what is called regenerative braking, one problem. So both the problem they have addressed this very smoothly and they had implemented. So that is what Tesla model they took in their hand. So they have done a very good work actually. So with the help of inverter circuitry, they made like a changing the frequency. That is the game actually they are doing. So there is no brake and all in electric vehicle. Only acceleration would be there, mechanical brake. Mechanical brake they never touch. Only the electric. This is for emergency purpose. So only acceleration, accelerate, deaccelerate. That's it. Acceleration when they are doing, what will happen? Speed will go. Deacceleration means regenerating. Only regeneration. So deacceleration you are giving, regeneration will happen. So that is the beauty in which the Tesla S model. And what they are doing actually, they are adjusting the frequency. That is a matter. Because NS equal to 120 F upon P, right? So you cannot bring down NR has to be higher than NS. No, that is not possible, especially while running in a motor. It will be always lower only. So what they can do, they can, for example, NS if it is running at 1200 RPM, right? By the time I want regenerative option, but it should be 1500 RPM above. No, that is not possible. So what you can do, you cannot bring up, but you can bring down this one. So if you are bringing down to 750, so by the time rotor speed is higher than this one, so I can make a regeneration. How I can bring down this one? No problem. NS equal to 120 F upon P. Na? You reduce the frequency. So reduce the frequency when applying the regenerative braking. What will happen? While after reducing the frequency, your synchronous speed will go down. Synchronous speed goes down, your rotor speed is compared with that synchronous speed much higher. So operating regeneration mode. So that is the one of the beauty. The people are coming with the induction motor. So people are doing with the, even Bose company also that what we are collaborating, our students are doing internship, and of course many students got placed also. They are working, and we have a MOE also we signed. So they are doing dedicatedly with this one. Our students are doing induction motor based with the FOC control and VVF. So these two mechanisms they are implementing for the car actually. So that is what practical research is going on at present scenario. So based on this technique only. Okay. So and this one PMSM. And PMSM is also having a same drawback only. Synchronous motor, you cannot. Same thing only. So here same 1s equal to 120 F upon P. You raise the frequency, adjust the frequency. Your rotor speed, stator speed will raise. Stator speed is changing, mean rotor locking. No problem. Stator speed is changing. No RMS speed. Of course, rotor speed also will change. So that is older thing. That is not a new. But here the problem is in a self-control mechanism, certain delay would be there. For example, vehicle is running in 15, for example, 80 km per hour when vehicle is running. Suddenly I want to bring down to 20 km per hour, right? So, or maybe for example, 20 km per hour vehicle is running. Suddenly I have to bring up to 80 km per hour. So when 20 km to 80 km per hour, when I'm raising the acceleration, which means I'm raising the frequency. When I'm raising the frequency, the stator RMF will be running at, for example, 200 RPM, right? INS value equal to 200 RPM. Suddenly from 200 RPM to, for example, 1400 RPM when I have to raise, right? The NS value. So sudden changes will happen in a stator. What will happen? Slip will happen. It never actually attract. It may leave the synchronism. So which means what will happen? Suddenly I'm raising the acceleration from 20 km to 80 km per hour. Speed will go to suddenly to 0. So that is a losing the synchronism. So that may happen actually. So that is a bigger problem in a self-control mechanism. For that they used to create a certain delay. So delay when they are creating, what will happen? Even you are raising the acceleration, vehicle never run. After a certain time only the vehicle start run. So this is a bigger problem. So in order to address this one, they have done with some pulse control technique. So ramp pulse technique, that is one of the research actually. So with this implementation, you can see only the IEEE transaction paper in detail about, because I don't want to go in much about that, how the enhancement done in the PMSM. But you believe me, so PMSM for the heavy duty vehicle and all, people are going with the PMSM because there we don't need to much. Of course, there is still drawback, much acceleration, rapid acceleration, slow rapid acceleration, but can give a very good performance and the cheapest one because rotor having a permanent magnet only stator having the 2-3-phase armature winding. So there is no problem. Rotary portion having a very, very lesser weight only, like induction motor also, stationary port only. So which means dynamic torque also you can improve. So because of all those advantages, they are going with the heavy duty vehicle and all. So these are the company they are going with what is called with the PMSM they are running actually. So these are the companies, especially Nissan Leaf and all, very good, powerful company. Right now they are pick up in the market. So you saw PMSM motor, permanent magnet. One thing you have to sure, self-control mechanism is the best one compared with the separate. But in self-control mechanism also, they are going with the pulse duration method. Pulse duration method, rapid pulse they will make such a way in self-control delay they will improve actually. So that is what research in this. So this is how the people are going. So these are the advancement studies are research are happening in electric vehicle field and SRM. So I don't want to go in detail this one because at present scenario people are not ready to invest this one because the same rupees 14 lakh rupees if it's the same vehicle capacity, same engine capacity, same performance, but your vehicle cost is 14 lakhs, so it will switch over to 18 to 20 lakhs. Huge investment is like because of the your what is called SRM motor and corresponding your control strategy of the front end converter. Because we have a stator and rotor, more number of poles we have to design to get a more lesser ripple content. So 8x6 and 14x16 and all. So when 16x14 and all, you just imagine how many number of poles, how many switches I have to invest, more costly. So cost wise, they are not satisfying this one. That is what SRM in research purpose perspective only. There are several people are doing, but none of the company they are taking in a market to implement in SRM, right? But PMSM they are doing away some work. Tesla's pick upping like anything market. BLDC motor, this Chinese wala, they don't want to leave this BLDC motor. Everywhere BLDC motor only they are supplying. All the material, raw material with the packed one, everything they are shipment doing through the Mumbai and Kolkata and New Delhi that we are getting through only from China only. They are importing with the BLDC motor only, right? So because of electronic components, certain advantages are there. So BLDC motor, induction motor, PMSM. These three are popular categories of motor, each having a certain drawback that I addressed, right? So now we move up on the charging infrastructure. Okay, so these are the summary actually from that I can tell you. There are, as per the Indian standard, so less than 4 kilowatt only people has to go with the two-wheeler applications. So for that, BLDC motor, hub motor is a more suitable. You can go with this one. There is no doubt in that. That is a good choice actually. Without gear, whatever, inrunner or outrun, whatever, but hub motor you can go. And high power application like a PMSM you can go, and induction motor you can go. Like a car and all you can go with the induction motor, and the bus and the trucks and all no need of that much rapid acceleration. The PMSM is very good choice, ideal choice actually, right? So these are the things, and SRM makes more costly actually. So there's a bigger problem, made a cost effective by as a PMSM. So that is what we can go with this one. Fine. So these are the summary. So now we'll move up on the charging infrastructure. So what is the advancement that we are, in a charging infrastructure? What is the current scenario as per the Indian standard, and what are the current research is going on? I can tell you. So first of all, you got to understand there are two kinds of charging mechanisms. So first one is like a AC charging and a DC charging, right? So type 1, type 2, type 3 people used to say. Sometimes class A, class B, class C people used to say, right? But both are standard remains same only in India, right? So there are two kind of current. One is a AC, other is a DC. Okay, in DC there are two. Okay, so this is what I type 1 charger, and this is a type 2 charger, and DC type 3. So type 2, type 3 belongs to DC, type 1 belongs to AC. This is Indian standard I'm talking. I'll tell you the range also as per the Indian standard. So in a DC charger, AC charger, there is a several names. People used to call residential charger or commercial charger. Sometimes onboard charger people used to say. So these are the AC charger. Okay, there is a different notation people are using with the based on the standardized company. And DC charger mean, so here also commercial charger is there and fast charger is there. In the fast there are 3 mediums are there that I will tell you upcoming slides. Okay, so before that, how they are classifying. Now next question in your mind, how they are classifying it, right? So how they are classifying it's very simple, based on the method of charging. So which method they are adapting, accordingly they are. So first one is a constant voltage. So constant voltage mean like simply they are not doing anything. They are just regulating the voltage. For example, one battery is there having a 48 voltage capacity, or you can take a Tesla car, 240 voltage DC. So what they are doing, they are just maintaining the voltage, for example, 250 voltage. So 250 minus 240 upon, for example, if it is a 0.5 ohm. So almost how much it is coming? 20 ampere. So constantly 20 ampere current if it is charging. So which means you are not doing anything. You are just regulating the voltage to 250. So 250 voltage that you are always giving. So 250 voltage you are regulating. That is the method of charging is constant. This is one of the method. Don't think so one or two methods. There are several methods are there. After that, I tell you which one is the best. Because don't think so one only we are using. There are only literature. Not like that. For every application, type 1, type 2, type 3, and in which type 3 also there are 3 classifications. Based on that, every methods are using. So whatever the methods I'm telling you, all those things from the research paper only. So all those methods are we are using it commercially. Okay. Second one is a constant current. So why the constant current it came from the research point of view? If you're looking, as I told you, I equal to same thing. For example, 250 minus 240 upon, for example, if it is a 0.5 is R value, right? So now when your SOC is rising, when electric vehicle keeps on charging, so what will happen when it becomes empty? So empty mean by my battery voltage back whole battery stack voltage, it will be like a 200 only. So which means 250 minus 200 when it is 0.5, you just see 100 ampere. So which means at time of starting when the battery becomes empty, your current will consume 100 ampere from the converter. So 100 ampere it has to load. When battery keeps on charging, what will happen? Your current start reducing because this EMF is rising, no? So SOC is rising, no? When state SOC mean, I hope everyone knows, right? So state of charge. State of charge is a graph rate between the voltage with respect to the time. So more time if you are charging, your SOC will be decreasing based on the discharging. This is charging graph. Okay. So SOC, I hope you know very well, right? So state of charge. So based on the SOC, what will happen? Your voltage start rise. So when your voltage start rise from a 200 to 240, 260 like that, so what will happen? Current start decrease from 100 ampere, 80 ampere, 90, 70 ampere, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, then 5, then 2, 0. So this much changes in the current you to charge. So that I don't want. So constant voltage means your current will vary. I don't want that one. I have to make a constant current. So constant current, what are you supposed to do? Depends on, for example, initially 200. No, my current is, for example, 10 ampere, 20 ampere. So what you do? You just make a 210 voltage. So 210 upon 200, what will happen? 0.5 if you are keeping, so 20 ampere. So after that, what will happen? This is rising to, for example, 210. So what you do? You raise to 220. So which means based on your SOC, you raise the voltage. Voltage has to be adjusted, keeps on. So that is what constant current. So constant current means variable voltage. Constant voltage means variable current. Okay. Third category, taper current. So at every time I don't want this one. I want sometime high current, sometime low current. So that is what unregulated constant voltage you are giving. Unregulated means you are not regulating the voltage. Whatever the voltage that is directly you are applying, which means the current will be like taper current, V type. So current will be controlled like a V. Initially high current, in between low current, finally high current. Like that, when you are doing, the performance will be improved. So this is one of the method of charging. Next, pulsed charging. Why I have to do like this? Pulsed charging I can go. Pulsed charge mean, what I can do this method actually, I'm leaving a gap actually. Leaving a gap mean, for example, if it is a charging for continuously for 30 minutes charging I'm doing, right? In which 30 minutes, what I'm doing, every 30 seconds, right? Continuously I'm applying the voltage. Okay. Current, of course, rising, battery getting charged. After a certain time, 10 to 20 seconds, or maybe 10 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds, I'm giving a gap. I'm making off, right? So rest period I'm giving. I'm not giving any voltage. So PWM I'm generating in terms of second. Don't think so any frequency in terms of operating kilohertz. So microsecond delay only. I'm talking about a few seconds. Few seconds means this is not a PWM. Don't think so PWM. Okay, few seconds time period. So T off is few seconds I'm holding. So when I'm holding in terms of at least 1 or 2 seconds I'm holding, right? So 1 or 2 seconds, or maybe at least 0.5 seconds. In terms of seconds, I'm holding. So such a seconds value when I'm holding, what will happen due to this? My rest period when I'm giving, what will happen? For example, any battery is there, the chemical reaction it has to take place internally. And keeps on charging, what will happen? Internal hotspot will create. So due to this, what will happen? Gas formation and all will happen. Continuously I'm charging. You leave some gap, give a rest period. So what will happen? These charges will be accumulated and it will make a recombination, rearrange the structure in itself, and wherever the gap is there, it's trying to get a fill. Then again you charge. After some time, you just leave a gap. Like while you taking your food, like take some rest period, 2 hours, 3 hours. So leave a gap, then you are taking. It's the same pattern only. So continuously instead of taking, leave a gap. So it will be settled among themselves. So thereafter again you charge. When you are doing like this, what will happen? this gas formation you can find, and the crystal growth that you can passivation that you can, so everything, so your battery life that you can extend actually. So that is the one of the best one, but the control mechanism has to be precisely, it should be uniformly, it has to be controlled. That is also matter actually, because of the chemical reaction. Why we are giving a pulse mean? Because of the chemical reaction. So when your chemical reaction, when you're doing, what will happen? Your chemical reaction will be balanced, so equalizing the chemical reaction, so you can extend the life range. Why I am talking about the life range, because if it is a 5 years coming, when I am doing the pulsed charge, damn sure that it will go to 7 years, which means 2 year your investment rises. So 2 years your investment, for example, 6 lakh rupees investment, 2 years means you just calculate your interest rate with a simple mechanism. When I'm doing, you just imagine what is the benefit I'm going to get out of this. So these are the research point of view, to satisfy the customer, right? The other method, a very important method, I'll tell you. Other method, ramp method, is one of the powerful method actually. This one, pulse charging, or this is actually SOC. Beginning is I would have shown. So SOC graph you can see set of charge based on the battery voltage will rise. So this is charging profile, discharging. Both will not a uniform. While charging, how the pattern is coming, same pattern it never come. Discharging pattern is somewhat lower than that. That is actually drawback. It should be opposite actually. Charging should be like this, discharging should be like this, but that never happens. Every reaction there is an equal amount of opposite reaction, according to Newton's law. You can't avoid actually. Okay, fine. So coming to the point, the bulb charging. The bulb charging is this a powerful method. Same thing only. Bulb charging means same method only. What previously I told you, this method, pulsed charging, same method only. But in the bulb charging, what will happen? This is a rest period I'm giving, right? So rest period I'm giving, so internal reaction will take place. Fine. So this is called that first method, right? So now bulb charging means during this particular period, negative pulse I'm giving, which means, for example, battery, if it is getting charged, if I'm giving a 20 ampere, from here to here, I'm giving 20 ampere. After that, I'm started loading from here, which means started discharging the 20 ampere to load. 20 ampere suddenly, but not long duration. Very, very short duration. This is in terms of millisecond only. Very shorter duration. This is actually few fractional second, 0.2 to 0.3 seconds. This is in terms of millisecond. Very short interval. I'm just consuming twice or thrice than the incoming. And for example, 20 ampere means 60 to 80 ampere. I'm just discharging. Discharging current is minus 80 ampere. This is, for example, 20 ampere. So such a heavy current I'm start such small duration. What will happen? Any battery, due to the chemical reaction, the bubbles will form, right? So due to that bubbles, what will happen? That the gap is there. For example, that gap will be filled with other, because you are discharging. No, you are leaving a certain gap. So this gap will be filled properly. This is internal chemical reaction. You can talk with if you want to know, you have to read about more chemical reaction about the battery, but you have to blindly believe me. So the diffusion takes place because of the gas bubbles, so that we can make to release. So such a way we can short interval pulse, we can discharge it. When I'm discharging, what will happen? Of course, my life will be extended. Am I right? What I'm saying, right? So now this one 2 to 3 times of discharging current I'm giving, fractional millisecond level. So because of this one, what will happen? The diffusion of the gas bubbles are occurring. So due to that, what will happen? I can enhance the life of the battery, and of course it never damage the battery less than 10 years, damn sure. Because why limited? No, because 2000 to 3000 cycle only, yeah, not more than that. You can. People used to say 5 years, 48 months only the warranty nowadays. Any company you go, even the number one popular company also you can go. 48 months only the replacement warranty. After 48 months, it will degrade your performance. You won't dilute the whatever the distance, water, or you do maintenance and all, is nothing possible actually, unless until very good improved charging mechanism. If you are not employing to your battery, your life will go. Why the charging we have to give that much importance mean? This is taking too much cost here. That is a problem. Almost 60 to 70% of the vehicle cost will be taken by only because of the battery, right? If it is a 10 lakh rupees mean, I have to spend 6 to 7 lakh rupees for the new battery. after 10 years, now, government right now also announced 15 years, after 15 years, your car has to be crashed, right? It has to be go for recycling, right? After, but in electric vehicle, not a 15 years, yeah. After 10 years, you can replace your battery capacity. Again, you raise 10 more years. After replacing the battery, again, you raise 10 more years. You can extend the same vehicle. Nothing will, because there is no engine, no. There is no, carbon monoxide content to emit and it will spoil the environment. Nothing like that. Only battery. So if you are extending the life from 10 years to 12 years with the help of this mechanism, because daily we are doing the charging. You just imagine how the beautiful research in this. So that is why the charging infrastructure and the method of charging is a very good attractive research actually nowadays people are doing. So I'm just giving an idea to you guys as a faculty member. You can promote your student. Of course, you all, many of them may be doing a PhD also. So you can concentrate on in this particular dimension, right? And the other powerful important method is, IUI charging. IUI charging means, initially I told you, here, initial current is high. Constant voltage method is a constant, current is variable. Constant current method, voltage you have to adjust. But okay, you can adjust the voltage, nothing wrong in that. But current will be constantly. It will take a more time. So what you can do, IUI charging. Initially, you charge the current with a higher, right? After that, constant voltage you maintain. After that, again, constant current you maintain. When you are doing also, what will happen? The current drawn, voltage drawn is uniform. That is different. Okay, I agree. But you can maximize the battery life here also, because uniform rate you are applying the current actually. And not only this one. After that, you are switch overing into variable current, because when constant voltage means, of course, variable current. So constant current, variable current, constant current. In terms of voltage, you look variable voltage, constant voltage, variable voltage. So like a mixed point of view, when you are doing, what will happen? Due to the internal structure of the battery, it will take a same like a recombination. So like that also gradually, you can enhance your performance. So this is also one of the detailed things are there, right? The other method is like a trickle charging. This is what at commercially people are using nowadays. You go any advanced level, they will tell 5 years if it is coming, you buy this charger, it will come for 8 years. Like that, people will try to sell with a trickle charging. Trickle charging is not a bigger deal. Trickle charging mean, I hope you might have heard, everywhere self discharge would be there. After 90% of the charge, if it is done, what will you will do? You will just cut off the supply for certain time. After that, you will give like a, for example, continuous current I'm giving till 90%. After 90%, I'm giving a pulsating current. So pulsating current, when I'm giving, what will happen? Due to that pulsation nature, the internal, structure will get replaced. So because of the, the chemical reaction, so again it will be recombined, will happen inside. So again it will be, yeah, charging with a certain period. So like that, pulse duration will give after 90%, till 90% constant current only. So after 90%, if you are doing, that is called trickle charge. I agree. This also improving the battery life. I agree, no doubt in that. But people charging more. But compared to this and all, this is the best one. Perb charging and all. So now I can tell you, conclude with this one thing. Okay, there are several charging mechanism I told you, but which one will be best one? Perb charging, we can give a best one, and compare with all other thing. And this is two more charging methods also there. That also I will tell you. Float charging. Why I'm telling this float charging? This is worst method. I told the best methods and I agree, but this is a worst method. At present scenario, this float method only, everybody connected. You can take any solar panel, whoever investing, they are going with the float method, that they're going with a random method. For example, UPS system and all, UPS battery, that is going with the float charging only. Permanently connected parallel with the voltage. Whatever the voltage, for example, 220 voltage, for example, 170 voltage, for example, 250 voltage, whatever the voltage, current, whatever the change, which means voltage will change, current will change, and inside hotspot, everything will happen. So this is not suitable for the lithium ion. It's only suitable for lead acid battery. The cheapest one, no. Lithium ion almost 8 times higher. So 2,000 rupees only, instead of 10,000 rupees to invest, only 2,000 rupees invest. After 5 years, you can just replace with the purchase with a new battery. Okay, got. So there we can go. But lithium ion battery, this is not at all advisable with the float charger. This is one of the worst method. But at present scenario, people are going with this only. Simply what they will do to UPS and that, they will connect on small rectifier, and they even residential charger also. Type 1 charger is there, no? In a type 1 charger, people are going with this only, float charging only. Cheapest one. You go and search an online EV charger, you will get 5,000 rupees and 10,000 rupees. They will give only float charge. They will tell the best method like that and all in Amazon and all, but nothing. That's a waste. Okay, float charge. The other method is a random charging. So this is for the solar PV people are using. Why the solar PV mean? The solar PV power generation is not a uniform. For example, MPPT operating or whatever you do, I hope you might have know about the MPPT, all those things. For example, 1 kilowatt power, 10 kilowatt power capacity, I solar rooftop, I connected to my home. Sometimes 10 kilowatt, sometimes never ever come. For sometimes 8 kilowatt will come, sometimes 6 kilowatt will come, sometimes 2 kilowatt will come, sometimes 500 watt will come, sometimes 7 kilowatt. So rapidly power is changing. When rapid power is changing, what about my current feeding to my battery? That also will change. So rapid current, this is not a uniform rate, like a initially higher, in between middle, after that higher, internal hot fun. You are not bothering about your battery. You are bothering about the incoming because there is no option. How much power is coming that I have to, but I cannot control here accurately to enhance the battery life. There is no option. So such a scenario we have to go, especially regenerative braking electric vehicle and all. We have to go random. You when you are going to apply the brake, by the time power has to come back. It is not a no. This much current only you have to feed during a constant current charging or maybe constant voltage charging. Don't apply regenerative brake. You cannot restrict actually. While driving, you have to give a regenerative braking that you have to feed. That's it. Which means regenerating braking of electric vehicle or hybrid electric vehicle or maybe any other thing scenario, and maybe for what is called power generation, wind power generation or solar power generation, that has to be connected with the battery. Random charging only based on the power availability, then and there how much it is coming, immediately you have to. But here what will happen when heavy power, when it is coming, suddenly 1 kilowatt, suddenly it will go to 10 kilowatt, cloud sudden changes when sometime happening, by the time and all, large power spikes may occur. So it make some trouble in the back, life of the battery. So that one drawbacks are there. Certain special techniques, some protection techniques that we have to enhance always in random charging to extend the life. So this and all, some standard companies like ABB and Siemens, only when they are implementing in some high megawatt hour plant and all, then they are going, they used to consider all those research point of view. For our local vendors who are all asking for this electric vehicle and EV charges available in Amazon, Flipkart and all, nothing easy. That is only one of the worst powerful method I told you, float charging. That only they are giving. Okay. Some of the companies are giving a trickle charging, but this and all not that much good. Okay. Fine. So next charge rate you have to understand. So this also people are classifying. The charge rate actually they used to get slow charge, quick charge, fast charge. Sorry. So there are three charges are there. So okay, C rate we used to call. C rate mean, for example, 0.1 C mean 10% of the charge rate. If it is a 0.5 C, 3 C mean 3 times of the maximum charging current. For 1 C mean actual charging current. So based on the C rate only, people used to classify slow charge, quick charge, fast charge. So this is Indian standard. So quick charge mean will be 3C rating, 0.3 C rating. Quick charge people go 0.3 C rating, and this will be very good. And the fast rating is ultimate, higher than that one. And 0.1 C mean 10% of the rate. This is a very dead slow. So these three classifications only we are having. So at present scenario in India, less than 30 minutes you cannot charge. Okay. People don't think so, like a 2 minutes, 1 minute you can charge. That is not possible. 25 minutes to 30 minutes only at present scenario you can able to charge. So less than that you cannot charge. Okay. So minimum duration is 25 to 30 minutes in Indian standard, right? So charge rate is that is the fastest charging we used to call type C category. I'll tell you, the range exactly. You have to understand what is C rate, because there are certain deep study about C rating and all. So based on the C rating only, the hours calculation all will come, and efficiency also matter. Don't think so when charge rate this is okay, this is best one. The efficiency point of view, if you're looking, I can tell you orally. For example, it is giving a 98% efficiency, right? In a quick charging, it will fall to 85%. You can ask, what is the wrong in that? The same power only you are pumping, maybe within a short period we are pumping. What is the problem? Yes, it is there, because when C rate, when it is rises, where charging current will rise. When I square R, given R value or I square value, square of the times, more losses will happen. So this is a bigger problem. When C rate rises, your efficiency drops. So fast charging, you will give poor efficiency. Slow charging, one of the best method in the world. But people, we cannot wait, to wait 8 hours or 10 hours when you are in somewhere to travel in a long distance. Somewhere you want to wait in some any charging station. You cannot wait this much hours. Residential charger, okay. Slow charging, night I can, midnight I can charge overnight. But in those commercial locations, we have to go fast charging. But you have to lose efficiency. That is the thing. One side drawback, one side advantage. Okay. CVCC method. This is also one of the charging method. This also people are using. This is okay. So compare with all, this is also some of the best method. So initially constant current we are giving, after that constant voltage we are switch overing. So that is what I told IUI. So that method. So compare with all, the bulb charging is the best method, and random charging for the solar PV and for electric vehicle regenerative braking, we have to go random braking, right? So with all those things in terms of megawatt hour or above kilowatt hour and all, if you want to go in between range, you have to go with a smart charging. So that is the best one, because why I'm telling, okay, other things also best one, I agree, but especially in a car and all, Tesla car and all, they are coming with this one only. Why I'm telling, what will happen in a smart charging, when I'm riding a vehicle, right? So battery, very well, often you are reading a newspaper and you are seeing in a news channel and all, while people are speaking in a phone while putting in a charge mode, due to the bus, people, they got severe damage happened, so like that, people also getting died, so that what we are listening, right? So that and all happening only lithium ion battery. Lithium ion battery always there. If heavy current, if it keeps on consuming 20 ampere, 30 ampere, 50 ampere, 100 ampere and all, definitely due to internal hotspot, your temperature will rise. So moment temperature rise beyond the predetermined value, immediately the whole thing, like a bomb we can act, lithium ion battery we can operate like a bomb. So, so ultra capacitor also like that only. We can make like a bomb effect is there, no? So that much bomb blast effect that we can make only with the ultra capacitor. Ultra capacitor you can make overcharge and immediately you just break it in the chain. What will happen? It's like a plastic bomb. How the explosion can more than that it can give. There's a research actually, right? Same thing, lithium ion battery also like that only. It's like a damaging one. So which means while I'm riding continuously, for example, 200 kilometer, 300 kilometer, if I'm riding from any Coimbatore to Chennai, or for example from here to truck, I'm traveling from North India to South India to exchange, any goods. By the time 3,000 kilometer continuously I'm traveling, or maybe 1,000 kilometer continuously traveling, then only I can reach the location, right? 10,000 kilometers when continuously traveling, when temperature keeps on rising without knowing you. Suddenly, while riding any car or whatever it is getting burst, you just imagine. It's a very, very important to measure the temperature. You have to keep one eye on, but we cannot keep one eye actually, but automatically it has to happen. So that is called smart charging. So compensate the temperature, because Tesla model they took in their hand actually. So they have taken the compensate in the temperature rise, and one very good technique based on the nanogel technology, and they have partition they made. For example, one bigger lithium ion battery is there. For example, you can imagine 5 inch here and this side also 5 inch, right? So 5 inch square, right? So this much 5 inch square they just partition they made it. They have break like eddy current class, right? In a transformer, how we are making a stack, after that we are laminating. Why? To extend the area, right? So R equal to rho L by A, na? When area, when you are increasing, you can bring down your resistance. So that's what we are reducing the eddy current loss, no? In a transformer or motor, anywhere. Why we are laminated core we are going? The same area, given area, same resistance value, you are breaking into 1,000 pieces like a CD form, and after you are stamping it, what will happen? Your area will be extended. So area extended, resistance will go down. I square R, your power loss also will be low. So that is eddy current loss. Same mechanism. One 5-inch square battery capacity is there that you can break into several pieces. So what you can do, like a small battery, small battery cells that you can arrange. So like that we can keep like a 3 or 4 stack you can keep it. In between you, they are passing the nano gels. So when they are passing the nano gel, what will happen? It will be like a liquid form. So when it is traveling like this, when become a solid actually, when coming to the atmosphere temperature, again become a liquid, again pump. So when heat will be taken out actually. So that way they are doing. So that is one kind of nano gel. I don't know the exact name. Here nanotechnology professor is doing this research. Uh, some very good name, yeah, that gel. I just forgot. So that one Tesla also they are doing actually. They have implemented in between that what is called a battery stack. They are applying the gel, so they are taking the heat. Moment rising the temperature, immediately they are cut off the supply. So which means safe. You don't bother. That will take care automatically. You just ride. You just charge your vehicle. You just go somewhere away. You don't bother. Automatically that will be taking care. Of course, if you extend the battery life here, when temperature rises, what will happen? Your resistance will go down higher. When after some time when resistance is very high, your the insulation value also go down. No, like
why we are doing a transformer? Oil is there, no oil. Every 1 year, people are taking a sample from the TN electricity board, right? Why they are doing? They are testing the insulation value, the resistance value. If it is beyond the limit, it will be start conducting. The same pattern while in a battery life also. Inside resistance, if it is higher, then more losses will be coming. So which will degrade your SOC graph. SOC graph is, if it is coming like this, after some time it will go down actually. Which means soon it will be discharged. If it is traveling at 100 kilometer, after some time it's 70 kilometer only, it can give mileage. So all those things are there. The battery life means don't think will become empty. So your performance will be degrading. So charging only the one of the factor to enhance the life. So that is why we have to go with several researches are there in a charging infrastructure. Which one we have to adopt, and based on the literature survey and the smart charging, it is best recommendable for the high power application. And the charging method and all, we can go with the bulb charging and or CC and CV method. Okay, CV method, CVCC method, constant voltage and constant current method. Okay, so fine. In the charging station, coming to the point, 1 second, how long minutes are there? Still I'm continuing. Hello, sir.
Till 11:30, sir. We have
Till
20 more
11:30.
minutes. Yeah.
Okay. You just let me know before it, so then only I can stop and I can ask queries also. No, the participants may have some queries we have to address. Okay.
Sure,
So
sir.
till
Sure.
11:20 we'll go with this one. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, charging station. The charging station. If you're looking the same scenario only, charging station also. But here also one of the very good research at present scenario people we need. So what does that mean? When we are connecting a AC supply, for example, residential charger is there, we have to convert AC into DC. Absolutely, the power factor becomes, very well 0.707 with the rectifier. So power factor is that very low. So this is, for example, 1 kilowatt and 2 kilowatt. Okay, no matter in that. For example, if it is going for the 100 kilowatt and all, so when 100 kilowatt capacity, power factor becomes 0.707. Not only one charging station. There are, n numbers of charging stations across the country. You just imagine the utility side, how much burden is going to take. It's a very important scenario that we have to look upon the power factor when you're commercializing any charging infrastructure in our country, right? So that is what, there are several topologies here to improve the, like a charging infrastructure, of course, to go with different methods of charging in which unidirectional, bidirectional, all those things are there, blah, blah. I hope you might have know about this one. The beginning itself, I told you everything guys, but somewhere you may not fill those gaps. So those gaps only I'm trying to fill here. So whichever the knowledge you are adequate, so there I'm just trying to enhance the things. So enriching the knowledge, so that's my agenda. So and the other thing is like a voltage purity, of course, that we are getting. So no doubt in that, with the help of any capacitor, all those things we can go. But the problem is due to the power factor, utility burden is there. I agree. But other problem burden also there. For example, you see here when power factor is poor, the delay. I hope you might have studied about this fundamentals. I don't want to go in deep. Any voltage graph, if it is there, the current graph will be like this only. So which means the area will be shifted from here to here. So if it is a sinusoidal pattern to non-sinusoidal, non-linear current we used to call, right? So due to this non-linear current, what will happen? This displacement and displacement factor and distortion factor, right? DF into DF, no, which makes the cos phi, right? Displacement factor and distortion factor. So distortion also there, displacement also there from voltage to current. So due to that, what will happen? Peaky current. For example, if it is a 2 ampere current, RMS current, if it is taking, the RMS current is, for example, 2 ampere. So due to which, what will happen? 10 ampere will take. For example, if it is 20 ampere taking overall, so it has to take a 200 ampere. Because my peak current is very high. Peak current is 200 ampere mean, but my RMS current is 20 ampere. Though my battery is charging for the 20 ampere, my converter has to design 1.25 times. Maybe 25 ampere current is designed is sufficient. But how much you have to design? 200 into 1.25 mean almost 250 ampere you have to design. You are underrating your device. 250 ampere you are designing, but 25 ampere only you are consuming. You just imagine what about my cost of production, everything. It's a bigger matter. Don't think so. One of the power factors is a very simple one. But when coming in a bigger market, especially like in India, implementing in a charging station, it's a bigger study actually. So there are several research scopes are there here to implement. Okay. So take it further way, the ingress current that has to be avoided. You just imagine ingress current is, at least 5 to 7 times it will take that, why ingress current is coming in. Don't think so. Only motor only will take ingress current. Battery also, because when example, when every electric vehicle owner, they will bring with fully empty batteries, not like some of them give fully empty battery also, which means mileage 10 kilometer capacity only range is there, which means, for example, 48 voltage, the battery voltage, they will come up with only 35 voltage or 32 voltage. So such a very, very low voltage, sometimes 240 voltage means they will come up with only 180 voltage. So such a low voltage when they are coming, what will happen? V minus E upon RA when you are going, EB means the battery voltage, right? So battery voltage, when such a voltage is coming, automatically ingress current is very high. When empty battery, if you want to charge, ingress current is very high. So such a ingress current, what about already my current is very high because of this nature. Because of this nature, already my current is high. Again, you are taking ingress current also. Then my graph will be like this. You just imagine. What about my converter? I have to design, otherwise protection device will get open. Which means, moment an empty battery, some of the vehicle they are coming, when you are putting a charging, trip will happen. So what? How can I satisfy the customer? So I have to design here overreading. You see, one small power factor only. Have you seen how many problems that we are facing? This is the actual research actually, where you people has to focus, right? So there are several, mechanism are there that we have to improve. So it's a time's up. Almost we have 3 to 4 minutes only. So I try to wind up. So onboard charger, off-board chargers and all there. So in the onboard charger means we have to keep it everything inside the car itself. So there the capacity is certain limitation would be there. And BMS is there. BMS is a bigger topic. I cannot cover by today class session. Sorry. Battery management system, that is a very, very important parameter. Because of all these only, the electric vehicle cost is very high. Because everything is a like DAPA. Nothing would be there. If it is, for example, 2 lakh rupees a manufacturing unit, the BMF, electronic controllability and battery capacity and the charger and motor is maybe 20,000, 30,000 only. So compare with all these will cost around 8 lakh rupees. This is the more cost. People, we have to focus much here. There are several research scopes are there in electric vehicle configuration because which involves cost actually. Anybody can make that whole molding and those things and all. Even cheaper price we will make it. But the practical issue when the charger and the BMS and the battery and the controllability, electronics, all those things cost around more than 90% cost only we take this part. Of course, the battery is there. I agree. 60% minimum it will take. I agree, no doubt in that. But right now, compared to previous last 1 year decade performance, the battery graph you just take, it's decreasing like anything. More than 400% cost reduced. But still, people are expecting more cost to go down. Okay. This one, I'll just skip this one. Yeah. This is what I want to say. Level 1, level 2 charger. I told this what. Commercial market. Level 1 charger, level 2 charger is a slow charger. So this is called residential charger or commercial charger. There are 2 categories are there, 1 and 2. And the third is a fast charger. This is for the public charger. This is a public charger. Sorry, fast charger means EV station, EVSC. EVS means electric supply equipment. We cannot call like a charging station, like a EV, electric vehicle supply equipment. Okay. So this is what the same thing. AC supply will give rectifier. Thereafter, we are having a DC converter. With the help of DC converter with proper protection, with the BMS unit, we are charging into the battery. Very important BMS unit. Then only we can see how much bill that money that I paid to the as electricity charge, how much I have to transfer. All those things will take care. Your SOC performance, your battery life, and the charging technique. All those algorithm approach will be taken care of. BMS will be, if you're searching like a battery management system in IEEE Explore, you will get a plenty of paper in a research perspective. Okay, there are several very good research is there. And this is actually like a bigger pipe. You just imagine only DC supply they are giving. No conversion. Everything they are taking from there itself. 3-phase direct, they are converting it to bigger DC with the charging station itself, variable voltage and variable current they are injecting to the battery. But finally here variable voltage, adjusting the variable voltage only, they are achieving here variable voltage, variable current, bulb charging, IUA charging, CC method, everything they are doing, the decision will be taken by BMS. So it's a bigger topic I cannot control. It's almost time's up. Only this one you can note down. With this I would like to conclude this particular slide. Here there are 3 mechanisms. This is Indian standard I'm talking. Okay, AC charging station. Here level 1 charger, residential charger, level 1 commercial charger, level 3 is a supercharger. Here 120 voltage to 230 voltage. This is a 12 to 16 ampere range. It's not more than that. The power range is less than 2 kilowatt. This is the Indian standard. Again, I'm repeating. Okay, and this is 17 hours. It will take a maximum hours for 24 kilowatt hour pack. If it's a kilowatt pack is low, it will take a lower time. No problem. But it's an ideal case for any small like e-rickshaw and a medium range car. So those categories only this one. Okay. So e-rickshaw and all having almost, like a 2 kilowatt to 4 kilowatt only. So for that, if you want to travel 8 hours and all, if you want to travel, by the time you need almost 16 hours, right? 16 kW. So there to 24 kW and all, you can go with a moderate car and all. So that car capacity will take a 17 hours, right? So for 20 kilowatt power and all, 8 hours it will take a public charger. Public charger means you can go charge. For example, you're going any cinema theater, you take watching a movie 3 hours. By the time you can charge. Are you going for any shopping complex or anywhere like a public mall or like anywhere if you want to go there 1 or 2 hours shopping you are doing. So by the time you can charge your car. So like that, wherever your public locations are there, but still there are drawbacks. As I agree, I'm not discussing that and all. But these are the public commercial charger that we can go, right? And the first category is a residential charger. We can charge in our home during a night time. We can. The third one is the best one, like 400 ampere maximum current. We can go almost 240 kilowatt. You see the C rate is very high, but here C rate is very low, 0.1 C only. Here 1 C, 0.3 C, 0.5 C. Here 1 C, 2, 3 C, 5 C, and all that. But we cannot go more than 30 minutes. That's what I told you. 25 to 30 minutes only at present scenario. In the Indian scenario, people are going with the fully charging with the 25 kW, 25 or 24 kWh. Okay, but C rating is you just see here 24 kW, but I'm giving almost 240 kilowatt. So higher C rating I'm giving. So then only I can achieve 30 minutes. So these are the level 3 categories. Okay, level 3 mean like a type C charger. Okay, type 1, type 2, type C, or level 1, level 2, level 3, or class A, B, C, or people used to call this one level 1, level 2 slow charger category, level 3 is a fast charger. Level 3 is the fast charger, and where here level 3 is a fast charger, and these two are slow charging medium. Okay, slow or medium. Okay. Okay, guys, dear faculty members, I'm not able to continue further. So with this, I would like to conclude. If you have any comments, please you can post or you can unmute and you can ask. I'm ready to, explain according to till my potential. Please.
Sure, sir.
Is performance of a e-vehicle is somehow based on the time of charging, discharging of battery. No, performance of the vehicle, it's not based on the charging and discharging from the battery. Charging is not a matter. Discharging only. Performance of the vehicle mean while discharging only. So while discharging, even you can withdraw more current, but your motor is ready to perform, no problem. Such a control mechanism you have to give. For example, if it is a 240 voltage you are giving to the motor, maximum speed is running. So vehicle is running at half of the speed. You are bringing down the voltage. So vehicle is you are giving 120 voltage. So suddenly you want to raise the speed. If you are giving a 240 voltage, do you think moment you are giving a 240 voltage, immediately speed can ramp up? It's not like that. The torque has to produce that much high. Torque has to produce in always any motor, torque directly proportional to I. Maybe series motor and slip ring motor are square of the time, but always proportional only, which means current you have to feed very high. So if you want to feed that much heavy current, your controller has to support within a short interval, raising the current that much value. So PWM has to be raised in such a way. So like there's some current control method you have to adopt. So which makes to improve the performance. So we have to play in a converter only. Converter plus controller. Then only you can enhance the performance. How the battery will affect V2G transmission. So vehicle to grid transmission, battery never affects. A very good technology only, vehicle to grid transmission. Your losses only will be more because while charging also 10% you are losing, or maybe 5% you are losing. While discharging also 5%. So you are losing a 10% of unnecessary energy because of the grid exporting the power. Don't do that one. Government also not interested. Even solar PV also they are not interested to connect with the grid because of already in Tamil Nadu they reached to 37%. So they are not interested. The government stopped actually right now. Solar rooftop system connected with the grid tied. Off grid only right now there. So by the time how V2G they are never allow. Even the solar itself they are not allowing. How do you think vehicle to grid? That is in foreign and all there. But Indian scenario, India is like a worst grade grid. The frequency will go 49, 48.5 and all, and the voltage will go 160, 150 and all during a peak time and all. So it's very difficult to match the grid codes and all there. That and all don't want to go in detail. Okay. Any other questions? What about the periodic maintenance service of EV? No need of any periodic maintenance. If electronic spare parts are everything working good and everything is fine, no need to go any periodic maintenance and all. Okay. So no need that and all. Here, very good. Compared to mechanical based vehicle, there is no point of doing a periodic vehicle, a periodic maintenance. Yes.
Sir,
Any
throw
other?
some light on battery swapping versus battery charging stations.
Battery, you want difference, sir? Hello,
Not
sir.
exactly. Yeah, not exactly difference.
What do you want exactly? Question?
In the future, how
Ah.
may be the trend? If it is a charging station is efficient or swapping in a
Yeah.
customer point of view.
Yeah. Customer point of view, I'll tell you. Actually, at present scenario, in Tamil Nadu, I can take an example. In Tamil Nadu, 523 electric buses, Tamil Nadu government planning to launch under the FAME 2 category. At present scenario, 80 buses already they were launched in Chennai. They are running actually. But problem is they don't have many charging station practically, right? So charging station yet to develop. Even today we started investing, it will take some more years to pick up the market. So that is what at present scenario, swapping only one of the best method. So there is no doubt in that. Even China and all right now they are following only the battery swapping technology. So customer point of view, if you are looking, battery swapping is the best one. Why mean you don't need to invest much actually, because the battery cost also they are not taking from you, because the battery swapping only there you have to come and swap only to my company. So you are my customer till lifelong. You have to do swapping to me only, which means battery is battery cost you no need to pay. If it is a 10 lakh rupees, you have to pay 4 lakh rupees for car. Battery cost will be batteries depends. I will be responsible for the battery. So like that only businesses are doing from the US and UK and European countries and all. So battery swapping technology is a well popular technology in China everywhere. But like in India, there are several complexities there because too much population here, and moreover people may trying to cheat. They will give a lower grade performance battery, simply they will try to exchange in this while swapping. And these are the things are there. Some regulation commissionary policy they have to make. So by coming only, then only the swapping will be popularly we can use. So till that, what government is telling, don't go public charging also. That much hours you cannot wait. Do with the residential charging. Do charging your home itself. Charge your battery for one full charge. Run your electric car for 200 kilometer to 300 kilometer. And anything is there, again you come and charge your vehicle in your home itself. That is what government is promoting. And especially midnight government is asking to charge. So at present scenario, this is the policy. So battery swapping, it will take some more years to come, because there are several problems are there. Because when I'm giving a battery, whether degrade perform, worst quality of battery I'm sharing with you, then new battery I will take. So these are the things are there actually. Business point of view I'm talking. Okay. What about periodic maintenance? Can vehicle battery will be used as a backup for household while vehicle in the park? Yeah, we can use. Of course, why not? It is not at all. Everything is possible, but unnecessary losses. When charge rate is, for example, 0.1 C, or maybe while discharging, your discharging rate is 0.3 C or maybe 0.5 C, unnecessarily you are losing your 10% in the converters. So that is also a matter. But of course, for emergency purpose, we can use, no doubt in that. We can have a plug point provision. We can make, if it is no power, no electricity is there, UPS backup also not there. Maybe my home UPS also not there. We can use from your car. You can run your home, no problem. Your any system you can run, no problem. That you can do emergency purpose. But regular routine purpose, if you are doing, you may lose your cost actually. That is not recommendable. Can you please tell any recent advancement and ongoing research in the best battery discharging? Battery discharging, battery charging, okay. What is battery discharging? Battery discharging is depends on your converter only. For VLDC motor, mean your discharging rate is different. Induction motor, mean PMSM, mean discharging rate is different. So charging rate only the best method. So according to my survey, as I pointed out, the rank I given you, the pulse charging for high power rating is one of the best method. In a random charging, we have to do some protection devices to avoid the power pulse. For example, 2 kilowatt, suddenly 9 kilowatt mean the power pulse is there. So that pulse power you have to avoid. So that protection circuit we have to keep mandatory in the charging mechanism. So discharging, nothing is there. A supercapacitor can also be used as a battery. So can we improve the performance storage time? No. Supercapacitor mean like people are thinking something else. Supercapacitor mean, for example, 500 microfarad is there in a capacitor. Instead of 500 microfarad, if you're talking about 500 millifarad, so that is called a supercapacitor. So same capacitor only, when you're raising the capacitance value 1000 times in terms of microweber to milliweber, so then that is called a supercapacitor. Supercapacitor is nothing conceptual difference between the supercapacitor and the ordinary capacitor. Ultra capacitor is different. I hope you mean to ultra capacitor. Ultra capacitor means double layer quantity. So there the concepts are different. There we can go with a very good storage capacity. But problem is you have to understand, for 1 kilowatt hour lead acid battery 2000 rupees, same 1 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery cost around 20 to 25,000 rupees, same ultra capacitor cost around 70,000 rupees. You just imagine the cost. Okay, so that's the matter.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello,
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, yes sir, yes sir.
Hello.
Sir, I'm not, your audio is not clear, sir.
Sir, your voice is clear to me, sir. Hello.
Yeah, yes.
Sir, battery, sir, during the battery discharge is depends upon the variable speed requirements of the vehicle, no, sir?
Battery, I don't understand, sir. One more time, please.
Battery discharge is depends upon the variable speed requirements of the vehicle, no, sir?
Yes, yes, yeah.
So, my question is, so what are the present research is going, even though if your speed requirements are varying, so we don't have that much of discharge in the battery.
You don't have energy, sufficient energy, you mean to say. Okay.
So my question is that, what is the present research is going, even though if much variable speed requirements are there, the discharging capacity of the battery can be improved.
Still, I am not understanding, sir. Exactly what you mean.
Sir, my question is that if my speed requirements are varying, sir, so
Okay.
how can I improve the efficiency of the battery during the discharging condition?
Efficiency of the battery, you can't do anything, sir. What you can do? Battery efficiency, you cannot do. Converter efficiency, you can improve while discharging. Battery efficiency, how will you improve? Internal resistance are fixed.
By using the converters only, we can improve the efficiency of the battery during the discharge, no, sir?
Yeah, efficiency of the battery you cannot, sir. Overall efficiency you can improve. Battery efficiency you cannot improve because resistance is fixed internally. When you start sucking the energy, the moment it will lose some energy, right? You can't avoid that energy. Somehow you can reduce the energy in terms of converter and all. So there we can overall efficiency a little bit you can improve, but you cannot decrease the efficiency of the battery. That is not possible for a given current.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, good morning, sir. This is Nandakumar from Sairam Technology in Chennai, sir.
Okay, sir.
As I am faculty of mechanical engineering, my basic actually battery recycling, sir.
Okay.
I said on net there are 4 industries around the world. Only 4 industries. Is it true, or is there any optimum way to recycle the battery? That's the thing I want to ask, sir. Please,
Okay, sir. Actually, at present commercial point of view, I'm talking. Right now, we don't have any manufacturing unit in India. So small startup company only in Coimbatore lithium ion they are manufacturing. So most of the most of the batteries are we are purchasing from importing from where? China only. That too, they are not giving a lithium ion cell. They are giving us a lithium ion packed battery. Right? So recycling we cannot do. We can hand over to after 15 years, they are taking a resell. For example, 20% or 30% based on the degrading in the performance of the battery. They are taking and they are doing a recycling, sir. In our country, we don't have a manufacturing unit itself, sir. You are asking about the recycling process. So at present scenario, it is not there, sir. Especially lithium ion.
Yes, sir. Actually, fabrication itself, we require a vacuum to fabricate lithium ion battery.
Yes, sir. There are several chemical processes. I don't know much about that one.
same vacuum to be needed. That's what I think possible in India. Or it is only available in abroad.
Yes, sir. Abroad only available. But right now we are importing only. Sir. We are everything getting from China only.
China.
Lithium-ion battery means that only.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Yes,
We are throwing it away as and when it is completed. That's all.
yes, yes, sir. Assembly only, sir. Fixing and assembling and supplying and giving a warranty card for 4 years. That's it.
Sir, can I have your contact details, please, sir?
Yes, sir. Of course, sir. It's available, sir. Even Karthika in NIT Calicut, if you're searching, you will come, sir. Google.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
For battery and supercapacitor based for DC microgrid for 500 watt 48 volt load, what should be the optimal size of the battery? Okay. So your question is battery and supercapacitor based, okay, whatever it is, DC microgrid, okay, for 500 watt 48 volt load. Very simple. 500 watt and 48 volt you told. So what you can do, 500 watt 48 volt mean you have to calculate the current, right? So almost you are talking about 10 ampere current, because 500 watts upon 48 volt mean 10 ampere current. So 10 ampere current mean 10C you can go, 0.1C you can go, 100 Ah is the maximum you can go. So minimum you can go with 40 Ah also. 42 Ah batteries available in market, that is sufficient. So 42 Ah and 48 volt, that is sufficient. That is the battery size actually. That you can utilize. That is available in the market. So cost around 3,000 rupees will come lead acid battery 42 Ah. So with that you can go. So calculation how we have to do, Ah rating has to be 10 times higher than the ampere current rating. So that will be good. For slow charging and all, for fast charging and all. For example, 10 ampere coming. So 100 Ah you can go. You can go for 42 Ah also. 4 times also you can go. So optimal size mean we have to look based on your cost of production only. You have to think.
Sir, here if we are going to use both battery and supercap together, sir. So if for 48 load volts.
Oh, okay. You mean to ask both?
Yes,
Ultra
together.
capacitor. Don't say super capacitor. Super capacitor having a more parasitic resistance actually. So due to which it won't. Yeah, ultra capacitor. Ultra capacitor is costly. My suggestion I can tell you. My suggestion. At starting time you can go with ultra capacitor. That is what at present scenario Tesla is doing research. Only in the R&D lab only research is not coming out. What they are doing at time of starting to pick up the speed, they are thinking to raise the acceleration. No. So for that, ultra capacitor will be connected at time of starting. During a running condition, they will switch over into battery. So only 10% of the energy will be accumulated in a ultra capacitor. Rest 90% of the energy will be accumulated in a battery. So like that we can design. So if it is for example,
during braking regeneration, capacitor should charge, sir.
Yeah, because why ultra capacitor you can go for regenerative braking mean ultra capacitor having a cycles of 50,000 cycle. It's a very good cycle. But here only 2,000, 3,000 cycles only. So very low number of cycles. So after that, within 5 years, you have to throw. But ultra capacitor can serve for more than 25 years. So for regenerative braking, random charging and all, we can go. But high capacity, we cannot go. But as we pointed out, regenerative braking, we can go with ultra capacitor.
So here, what should be the combination rating, sir, if you want to supply for 48 volt load?
No. AH rating exactly I told based on the current value. If you want the optimal size, you have to tell how much kilometer you need to travel, how much hour battery back you need. That is, you are not mentioned. You tell voltage and current. For example, 1 hour battery backup you want. Okay, for this 1 hour you want to run your vehicle. So 1 hour mean 500 watts into 1 hour if you're putting 500 watt hour, right? So 500 watt hour divided by 48 if you're putting 10 Ah battery is sufficient. Like that only we have to calculate. Able to understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. So with regard to battery, with regard to supercapacitor, how much should be the size, sir? If we are going to use both to supply.
But ultra capacitor mean additional converter is required. Actually, ultra capacitor when we are going 48 voltage we cannot give, because each capacitor voltage having a 1.1 or 1.2 only the voltage cell. If it is a 48 voltage, you just imagine more than 45 ultra capacitor you have to contain a series. System becomes impractical, so it's not advisable. Ultra capacitor voltage will be always 15 or 16 voltage only. So there we have to go with another converter to bring up the voltage to 48. Additional converter is required. Okay, so voltage you cannot.
Multi-input converter, sir, where we are going to do.
Yeah, multi-input you can go. Yeah, but don't think so. Both voltage will be equal. 148, other voltage will be lower. You cannot equal voltage. You cannot get, because ultra capacitor is not more than 15 voltage. 15 itself, you have to connect 8 or 9 capacitors in a series. Then parallel combination also required. So all those factors are there.
To reduce the cost, we need to go for the minimum supercapacitor now, sir. So that's
10%. 10% you can go.
okay, sir.
Mm.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir. I am Shiva, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, one question, sir. Sir, basically, I have doubt in what is the difference or in what point that battery is called as overcharged and undercharged, sir?
Overcharged and undercharged mean like a burp charge. I'll tell you first of all. Undercharged mean first overcharge. I'll tell you. Overcharge mean you should not charge beyond the value of a rated voltage. For example,
Yes.
for battery you take 12-volt battery you take lead acid battery you take. If it is fully charged, the battery voltage becomes 13.5. If it's fully discharged, mean battery voltage becomes 6.5. So battery voltage moment if it is reached 13.5, you have to cut off your supply. If you are connecting with the supply, because of the trickling charging effect, what will happen? Self-discharge nature is there any battery. So due to that, current keeps on we consume. Even you are not switch off the supply, battery gets full, but you are not forgot to switch off the supply. For example, your mobile you take. Switch off, connected with your mobile. 100% charge over, you have to disconnect. If you're not disconnecting, due to the trickling effect, what will happen? Small current will be keeps on injecting to your battery, which will degrade your performance of the battery. So don't do that one. So that is the overcharging. Undercharging means, for example, 20% is there you have to charge your battery. For example, battery and all 20% is coming giving alert, right? Any battery. SOC has to be 20%. Moment 20% crossed, less than it is coming, you have to put a charge. If you're putting a 4%, then you are charging, what will happen? Heavy current will consume. By the time, due to the internal reaction, so that memory effect is there always. So memory effect means immediately your battery voltage will come down. For example, I can tell you blindly, if any, you can take your mobile, say Android mobile, smartphone you can take. Smartphone, if you are charging your battery less than 10% when it is coming, then only you are putting charging. 1 month you do continuously. What will happen, from 100% to 10%, immediately it will come. Even within 5 hours usage, 4 hours usage, it will come. Because of the memory effect of the battery. That is the internal behavior of the battery. If you are taking internal behavior of the battery, there are several points are there. So in which memory effect is one of the most important. So undercharging we should not do, overcharging we should not do.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Sir, further there is no questions, sir.
One question I am having, sir.
Okay, can continue, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir, please.
Sir, actually, petrol pump and diesel pump require permission or license for opening. So, charging station for the electric vehicle, do it require permission from the government?
100%, sir. 100% we need approval actually, but no need a license actually.
Okay.
Here, based on the quota only we are doing. Government is promoting. Even right now, the Bill company tie up with foreign manufacturer. They are putting from Jaipur to New Delhi in the road of 80-kilometer road. They are right now they are what is called constructing that charging station. Several charging stations they are planning. Bill, you can search in Google also. You will get the details. So people are giving. Government also giving. But problem is this is the bigger problem. Another problem also economy also one of the bigger problem. Actually. You can put no problem. If you are interested, definitely you can go with the charging station. But bigger problem is you can sell minimum 1 lakh rupees per day. Minimum guarantee 1 lakh rupees you can sell as a diesel or petrol in any charging station. Sorry, any petrol pump or diesel pump. But in a charging station, the maximum charge is 5 rupees to 12 rupees only per unit you can get you can collect from the public. So on an average in a per day, you cannot sell more than 1,000 rupees. So with 1,000 rupees, what kind of profit you will get? So because of this only, none of the people are coming forward to invest in there is no return actually. So what about my land cost? What about my equipment facility? You just imagine. There is a government is coming forward, but none of the the private agencies they are not coming forward because there is no much profit. Because per unit is 1 kilowatt hour is only 12 rupees maximum cost. Per day, for example, even 1,000 kilowatt hour if you started selling also. Only 12,000 rupees only you will get. So what is the profit? Nothing is there. So because of this only, none of the private. This is also another factor, sir, in a business point of view. There are several problems there, sir, policy making. So that is what government is thinking how to implement in the future. So maybe it will take some couple of years.
So,
But residential charging, people are promoting, sir. Government is promoting for residential charger.
okay, okay. That only I was asking that whether we can install that particular.
No. Don't invest. If you have any plan, don't go for the charging infrastructure. But government is planning, but you won't get much profit. But residential charger you can plan. That will pick up a market actually. There you can go slow fast charger, medium charger, and this kind of mechanism enhancing the life of the battery. So those kind of research you can do.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Sure, sir. Any other questions? Okay. So thank you. Participants, really thanks a lot for your queries, and I would like to thank for the coordinator convener also for giving a very good opportunity. Even many faculties are getting enriched their knowledge, so I am extremely happy. So my part done. So thanks a lot. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of participant, we are very much happy to hear you.